Hey everyone, Kyle once again, and welcome back to the next episode review of Kaiju number 8, back with season 2, and this time doing an episode of 20 and 21, which I missed last week, so yeah, I'm just doing the same thing, but like I said before, whenever I can, because I'm dealing with four seasons at once, four shows at once, so, but including schedule and work, like I said. But yeah, but now back with Kaiju number 8, season 2, now I'm doing episode 20 and 21. Briefly on episode 20, from the last week, not, but you know what I mean. But so after with Ichikawa, Reno Ichikawa with the wearing the number 6 suit, and after he almost really basically broke his leg without even knowing about it, so Iharu goes and steps in and helps him to help take down the huge kaiju, and so. And after with Iharu overcoming like his insecure obstacles, like hitting the wall and all stuff, and always think he's always being behind everyone else, like who got better than him, right? So, but he managed to defeat the kaiju along with Ichikawa's help, and they both, after the end, they both just high fived each other like as their best buddies, which is good because I like that previous episode was solely just focusing on both of them, and I liked how, both their rivalry between each other is great, so I enjoy that, and so. And with the captain of the fourth division, looking on, just like how surprising, like how they both have grown, and so, which is nice. And so, and after there's now we focusing more with back with Kafka, because he's doing more of his exercise routines because he wants to once again be better than to deal with number 9, right? So the vice captain offers to train with him. So basically, they take him to this shrine. He takes him to this shrine where all these people have lost their basically have lost to the soul, lost their fights with everybody who's lost fights with kaiju's basically. So he wants him to train, without transforming, without using his powers. So basically, a little sparring match between him and the vice captain, which is nice. He's getting one-on-one time with the vice captain, and learning how, teaching him the fighting styles. Not just relying on his kaiju powers. So just the fighting style that he has to do for himself, right? And then maybe after that, he can implement into this kaiju powers how to fight, right? And so it's going fine. But like Kafka is still a tad bit slower than the vice captain, because the vice captain's quick, so he still has ways to go to catch up with him. And then after, as they're leaving, Kafka sees a spirit of a warrior that's like in the shard, in the mists around the shrine. So he sees like this warrior, which is obviously a spirit. It looks kind of maybe like a samurai, and then it just disappears afterwards. So now back getting into the latest episode in 21. With more which we see more. We bring back Kikuru, and she's been absent for quite a bit, and also we get little bits here and there with actually the director general, her father. He's kind of like he's kind of like in the position where where Kafka was at the end of the first season, where he was just sinking down into the waters of the abyss, right before, how he got encouragement from Mina, right. We see the same thing with the director, because now we see him sinking down into the waters of the abyss, right? So that makes me think, is he still alive basically? Because he's reminiscing of all the hoping all of the young troopers who trained well to defeat this enemy. He looks up to the captains, Iharu, here Harumi. I meant to say Harumi. Kafka and his daughter. Hoping to defeat to help make peace, end this war with the kaiju's as he slowly starts fading, right? So it makes me wondering, because we see spurts of him here and there in this episode, and I'm like, is he still alive now? Because, like I said, it was Kafka in that same position at the end of the first season, where he was almost losing himself to his kaiju form, right? So I don't know. Is it showing that he's alive still? Now it just kind of makes it kind of begs that question, right? So we do see more um with more Kafka doing more training with the vice captain, and there is a nice moment where he is having lunch on the roof with Mina, just just him and her, right? With nobody else around. So I do have this nice little moment where it's him and her having eating together. Well, not sitting next to each other, but on a separate bench, and they're just reminiscing old times. Back when they were kids. How Mina remembers how Kafka back when they were kids, when there was always trouble, like when kaiju attacks. Kafka will always put on a brave smile, right? Even though things are not right, though he always put on a smile in front of Mina just to show how there's nothing to worry about, because in the end we're gonna join the team together and we're gonna wipe out all the kaiju's. Fulfilling that promise back then we were kids, right? And so, Mina is saying that, hey, you haven't changed at all. So there's a part of me is like, okay, she still trusts Kafka. Despite him having kaiju powers, she still believes that he is still Kafka, not a kaiju. And so, still wanting to fulfill that promise together, that gives Kafka, comfort still, right? Which I do really like that, though. Even though she's the captain, more experience than he has, she still remembers that promise that she still kept to Kafka, and now that he's here, they're gonna keep that promise together now. So I do want to say I do enjoy that part. The quality time these two have for once, having one-on-one together. Even having lunch briefly. So that was nice as well. But then we see more of these kaiju's that number 9 has created, because like more like we see where number 9 is in this cave where all these big egg sacs are, and we see all these different kinds of kaiju. Like one's like appears like a square shape with human faces on it, and there's one that looks like a little girl but it transforms into this other kaiju, and just extend make all these extensions just pierce through everybody in around this thing. I'm like, oh shit, everyone around this kaiju just got pierced. And I was like, damn. Hey, oh. All these different kaijus are now just popping up all of a sudden, and now it's going to be even a much more tougher mission to deal with now. And even with now back with Kikuru, now she's been given the opportunity to wear a weapon suit now, and it's the remnants of Kaiju number 4. So now Ichikawa got his own Kaiju suit number 6. Now Kikuru is now gonna be given the opportunity to wear the suit of number 4, and this one's white, just like how in the flashback how her mother wore a Kaiju suit, which was also white too. So now, basically, she's now fulfilling in her mother's footsteps. Basically, now being given a suit of Kaiju as a Kaiju weapon suit, and all these different Kaiju attacks, they're gonna need all the weapon help they get. So yeah, with number 10 still in storage. And now that Ichikawa has a suit, now that Kikuru is going to be given a suit, and now with Kafka with his kaiju powers, but like I said, he still has that little bit opening in his tearing in his hand because of his power. So, but there's gonna be a lot of kaijus for these new kaijus that are be kind of prove difficult to deal with for the defense force now. I'm like, the situation is getting worse and worse as number 9 keeps on making these new kaijus and more difficult for the defense force to deal with. So yeah. So that's episode 21, and I guess I gave briefly on episode 20. Both great episodes. So yeah, just like this is becoming much more difficult now. And like I said, we saw briefly with the director generals. Like, is he still alive? Because he's like in the same place where Kafka was, right? So I was wondering, is he still alive still? You know, inside the kaiju body where we saw like what Kafka was at the end of the first season. So yeah. So, but so this has been season 2 has already been proven great. So I like all the shows of like Down to Dan and My Dress Up Darling. Season 2s have been proven to be better than the first season, and I love the first season. I love the first season of Dawn of the Dawn. I love the first season of My Dress Up Darling. And as much as I love the first season of Kaiju number 8, season 2s of both of them have proven to be much better than the first ones. Even Call of the Night now, even season 2 of Call of the Night as well. So, and I enjoyed the first season of Call of the Night. So. It's been a great year for animes. I mean, yeah, like Solo Leveling season 2 has been proven better than the first season. Now, as much people for some reason don't like the season 2 of Go Go Loser Ranger for some reason, I don't understand that still. I think that was better than the first season. And of course, they got some other ones I enjoy, like Old Country Bumpkin, to Master Swordsman, Kowloon Generic Romance, and then there's the guild receptionists I enjoy. Just a lot of great. It's been a lot of great this season. So, but yeah. But this has been episode 20 and 21 together. Awesome. So that's the Kaiju, season 2 of Kaiju number 8, episode 20 and 21. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more. We'll see you next time. Later.